last year I went to a meeting at one of my valued attorney's offices, and this attorney had just settled a case for about $2 million on behalf of an injured minor, and the minor was netting a little bit north of $1 million. While I was in the office meeting with the client, the attorney thanked me and, said how much he valued the work that I was doing and was impressed with the type of growth that his client was going to receive. And then after we had a little bit of a conversation, he said, Joanna, I'm really sorry that I haven't been sending you more cases, but most of my cases are settling from about $300,000 to $500,000. So that's why I haven't been calling you. So I said, why haven't you been calling me for those? And he's like, you can structure cases that are low six-figure cases. And I was like, I do them all the time. Yes, of course, I'm doing multi-million-dollar cases, but I do structures every day as low as $10,000. And, I asked, where have you been sending the money for these injured minors? And they had just been going to blocked checking accounts. And, around the country, in most jurisdictions, the law is money that is being received by a minor in tort needs to be preserved for the time the minor is an adult. There's different tools that can be used depending on what jurisdiction you're in, but most states have some sort of default, like a block checking account or a court restricted account or the registry of court or a blocked minors account. In Maryland, it's called a Title 13 account, which really is just, again, a block checking account that can't be accessed without a court order. And the money doesn't really gain any interest, which is sort of the same around the country for all these different types of products. When you place money with a structured settlement, the structured settlement will gain tax-free guaranteed growth. So when I started talking to the attorney about this a little bit more, he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't been sending these other cases to you. And then I started sharing this information with all the trial lawyer associations, which I sponsor and am a member of. And, I've had so many attorneys answer or kind of respond to me with the same thing, saying, I didn't realize that we could do structures on these non-catastrophic cases. So I just wanted to do a quick video today, kind of talking about when to consider structured settlements for your clients and how even in these mid six-figure cases or even mid five-figure cases, structured settlements can have a really fantastic impact on the net to your clients. So cases where I think it's good to consider doing structured settlements. Cases involving minors, even as low as $10,000. If you have a 3-year-old getting $10,000, you put it in a structured settlement, it will gain interest. For all the years that the structure is being deferred while they are a minor. Claimants requiring lifetime medical care. Now, I know a lot of people, this is sort of the typical structured settlement case, and structures are used in these cases all the time. But again, these are not the only cases where they can be of value. Individuals who can no longer work. Structured settlements provide a tax-free guaranteed stream of income in these circumstances. Wrongful death cases. I have a lot of minors who are getting wrongful death settlement proceeds from the death of their parents. And sure, if these children are not disabled and they're typically developing, they're probably not going to have a structured settlement that's going to pay them out for their lifetime. But maybe because they lost a parent, their other parent hasn't been able to fund their college education, or, the child's not going to be able to have the support of their parents in their early adult life as they might have otherwise. And so structures can make up for some of that. Then we just have claimants who would like to take advantage of the tax-free nature of a structured settlement. They just want to get that tax-free guaranteed growth on their investment. And another big one that I see, and we do structures of all sizes for these individuals, but I have a lot of claimants who have, maybe low socioeconomic status. They don't have a lot of good influences around them, and they know that they need to be protected both from themselves and from their family members and friends. So they just want to put away a portion of the money where they know that it's safe, they know it's secure, and they know it's going to be there. So now I'm just going to quickly share a couple examples about how structured settlements have been used in some maybe cases that people might think of as smaller or non-catastrophic, and how they have been of value to these claimants. So the first one I wanted to talk about was I had a wrongful death beneficiary who was 7 years old. She was receiving a net of $197,000 due to the death of her mother. And this particular structure, we had $15,000 paying semi-annually for 4 years, which would cover her college tuition. Then she was going to get a lump sum at the age of 23. She was going to get another lump sum at the age of 25. And then she was going to get a final lump sum at the age of 27 of approximately $173,628.12. So the guaranteed benefit on her structured settlement was $443,628.12. On this structure, she was going to gain $246,628.12 of tax-free guaranteed growth. And I'm going to just talk about a smaller case. It was involving a minor who was in an automobile accident. He broke his arm, but otherwise, he's made a good recovery and doing well now, no special needs. He was netting $39,183. And so all that money was structured, and this structured settlement was going to pay him $35,000 at the age of 25, $46,593.93 at the age of 30. So the guaranteed benefit for his structured settlement was $81,593.93. So this individual obtained $42,410.68 of tax-free guaranteed growth on his structured settlement. And finally, I just wanted to share a case for somebody who is a bit older, an older adult, in their 50s, not old, but, again, a lot of attorneys do think of structured settlements just for minors and younger adults. So here I had a gentleman who was the victim of medical malpractice, but he was still able to work, although he was only able to work part-time. And his case settled for $900,000. Now, after attorney's fees, costs, and liens, he was netting about $500,000. And this gentleman, he's an older adult, so he is competent. He could do whatever he wanted to do with his money, but he chose to take $250,000 in cash. Some of that he was going to use to fix up his home, which needed some repairs, and then he was going to invest some of the money long-term for his 70s and his 80s in, various investment vehicles. And he chose to structure $250,000. So for this gentleman, he had a payment stream starting right away, which kind of offset his loss of income. And he was going to get $1,631.89 per month for 20 years. And so he was going to get a guaranteed payout of $391,655. So this gentleman was making approximately $141,655 of tax-free guaranteed interest. And he walked away very happy. So I just, wanted to share a couple examples of some cases where people might not otherwise think of structured settlements, and to show how they can add value to your clients. And happy clients leads to more referrals and better outcomes. Thank you.